Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M18 Hellcat. It's a Tier 6 American tank destroyer. It's on the southwest spawn of Province, and it's under the command of TanqAndTonic. Well, this little tank destroyer was the first original design that was actually put forward for a tank destroyer and built. It's supposed to have a 76mm gun, but in actual fact, in the game, it's got a 90mm if you choose to put one in. Yeah, unfortunately, only one Hellcat actually was armed with a 90mm gun, capable of doing 240 alpha in the game, 160mm of pen. Puts a round into the M7, gets a high roll for 274. He's not a happy bunny. Look at him, he's maneuvering like mad. He just got tracked. And there's another hit, and he contributed to that guy getting killed, but he did get spotted, so he has to fall back into cover. Otherwise, he would be on the receiving end. Now, this little tank destroyer doesn't have much in the way of armor, but that gun really does make it sing. And, oh, Arty! Yeah, I heard that one coming. It actually landed behind him. The enemy team have a leaf blower, and that's what was aiming at him. So he probably needs to pull back, because I suspect he might be on the receiving end of another shot from that guy very shortly. Okay, good decision. Now, as I said, it was originally armed with the same 76mm gun you actually get on the M10. And the 90mm, well, they tried to fit it onto a Hellcat after tests. Originally, they were going to just fit the 76mm on. It enabled the tank destroyer to get a good, quick, clean first shot off on the enemy. And he's got his first kill. Yep. That's Strip 74, thin armor. So this 90mm is just going to tear him apart. So they were quite happy with the 76mm gun. And of course, you can still play this tank destroyer with the 76mm. It gives you much better rate of fire, and you can pump out the shells. Plus, of course, you get more ammo to play with. You don't get much ammo with the 90mm gun. I'm afraid you only get 30 rounds, which kind of makes this a difficult tank destroyer to play, because you can run out of ammo. That Excalibur's trying to go. Oh no, he managed to get through there without actually getting a shot into him. But that KV2 is just going to get plastered with 90mm rounds if he goes past the gap. And he is going past the gap, so now he's going to get wiped out. That's the first hit for 186, a low roll. Can he get another one in? I'm sure he can. And he's taken out of the game. Standard reload is 8.15 seconds, but you can see here that TanqAndTonic's got it down to 7.05, which is good, which means obviously he's managed to improve his crew. That T25-2, oh, second kill. Yep, he's got another one. 25-2 was perfectly safe behind that rock, but he decided to come out and take a few shots at Arty, and unfortunately paid for it. They are 2 up on us at the moment, but I think that's mainly down to the fact that they've occupied all of the other side of the battlefield. So that's their domain at the moment, and all they've got down below is an LTG, and, well, he just got wiped out. He was doing their scouting. Okay, we've got a scope of T24 going up the other side of the map. Unfortunately, he's going to meet the Excalibur, and of course that Excalibur's one tier higher than him, and he's probably going to get some damage. I suspect that TanqAndTonic's probably going to defend his teammate from over this side. Now, what else can I tell you about the Hellcat? Well, it's got torsion bar suspension. Originally, 45 rounds of 76mm. And the old Type 64, or the Taiwanese Type 64, is actually basically an M18 turret, the 76mm gun, on top of the M42 Duster hull. So the guns are very good, the turrets are very good, and, well, the Taiwanese liked it enough that they actually took the turrets off and put them onto another vehicle. Well, the vehicles do get worn out. The engine is a Wright Continental R975. It's an aircraft engine. Oh no, we've lost both the tanks on the other side. Now we're down by 3. Okay, can we get the Cromwell? Oh, that was so close. He zipped past the back of his turret. And now he's been tracked. We get a shot into him. Yes, and that's a kill as well. So that's 3 kills now for TanqAndTonic. And we're seeing Arty shells scream over the top from the enemy Fifi, the enemy Leppy. Now, the Wright Continental engine was an aircraft engine. It's a cylindrical radial, 9-cylinder radial, I should say, developing between 350 and 400 horsepower. It was actually oriented in such a way that they could actually take the engine out of the back of the vehicle very quickly to do some maintenance work on it. It was actually on a rack, and so therefore they could disconnect the drive and just slide the engine out the back, do some work, put it back in, and that meant that the Hellcat could actually be serviced very quickly. It was also the fastest. Oh, he's just tracked the Hellcat, but he did get spotted, so he's had to pull back into cover. Yeah, it was the fastest tracked vehicle during World War II. 72 kilometers an hour is the maximum speed of this little thing. Now, he's unspotted now, but that Hellcat's going to go straight for the side of the cliff. And the enemy is now capping with the Excalibur in the cap area. And he's hiding behind the rock to make it very difficult for us. The Hellcat's a one-shot, though. We could take him out with our 90mm. Now, the vehicle range was 100 miles with a full load of fuel. As I say, it could go 55 miles per hour on road. Oh, Hellcat dies. So he's now got 4 kills, pulling back into cover. And oh, that was lucky. The enemy Super Hellcat actually just got a shot on him and it bounced. So I suspect that one hit the tracks, because if it hit anywhere else, I think he probably would have died. You can see there is a mark on the side of the turret, and I'm wondering if that is the mark that came from that. It might have been. It might be that he didn't hit the tracks. He just hit the side of the turret and the rounds bounced off. The turret is very thin. You'll see that if I show you the armor profile after the end of the game. They are still capping, and I think the enemy are waiting for him or one of his teammates to actually make a move to come down and get the reset. He's been spotted. Pull back behind the rock. Oh, the Excalibur saw him. Get him. Nice! Got a kill. That's his 5th kill. 1/3 of the enemy team. He just spotted a T-67. Now, can he put that one out of commission? If he can, he gets the top gun. And the enemy RT trying to get him, but can't. Okay, that's a full health T-67. It's going to take at least 2 shots. Maybe 3, actually, to take him out of the game. I think 2, actually. If he's clever, he can get those shots in. Probably use HE. Better with HE. The HE rounds are actually a lot better. And yes, he is thinking. He's thinking very hard about how to play this. Okay. The HE rounds are capable of doing 320 alpha. So he could take it out 2 shots. Now the T-25-AT's gone in there. He got the ram kill. So there's still 3 enemies out there, including the Arty. Well, we were spotted there, and oh, the IKV just tried to nuke us with a 90mm, a 105mm, and the Super Hellcat just got his 90mm round into us again and didn't penetrate. The armor's so thin that he should have penetrated. You can't get enough gun elevation, so yeah, it's only 20 degrees elevation, so you have to be inventive to actually get a shot on target. T-25AT just took a hit, and I think that was from the Super Hellcat, because it was 236. Now need to make a run. Go for it. Get across the other side of the battlefield. The Super Hellcat is spotted, and he just took a hit, so he's down to a 1-shot. The Super Hellcat won't be happy about that now, and we're under his gun depression, so he can't shoot at us. Likewise, the IKV are in a bit of a pickle. So it's 2 versus 1 now. They got the IKV, so it's just the Super Hellcat and the Fluffy against 3 on TanqAndTonic's team. And if he gets this last tank, he actually ends up with the top gun. I'm sure he'll be very happy if he does. He's being very careful because he doesn't want that enemy to take a hit, get a hit on him. But he can take a hit. He can trade. Going wide. Now, has he gone up behind this rock? Yes, he has. He's up here. He was waiting for us to go up the cliff. Where are you? Oh, he's sneaky. He actually pulled back all the way back to his own cap area. We're up the other end of the map. Now, can we get a sighting of him? No. Okay. The T25AT probably doesn't want to come out from behind that house because he's very low on hit points. We've still got our Arty. And our Arty is also a VP. He has got a kill in this game, so he does know what he's doing. Now, we've still got some hit points, but he's going to go behind the bush, see if he can spot the guy first. No. Okay, he's moving on up. That Super Hellcat's probably going to be waiting in ambush. Now, I have to say, I'd probably be more inclined to actually go low and come up at the far end behind the enemy, because I'm sure that that enemy Super Hellcat is waiting for TanqAndTonic to come from this direction. This vehicle was built by General Motors, by their Buick division. So if you can say that, oh, yes, oh, he's been spotted. Somebody in the bushes saw him, and it could be the enemy VP, because he's got a 390 meter view range. So the question is, where's the Super Hellcat? Oh, there's the VP. Now, it's a shot. Unfortunately, it doesn't go through. He's loading the APCR. He needs to get behind this guy. Puts one into him. One shot more to finish him off. And... oh, what do you do? He should have stayed behind the guy. Oh, and the kill shot goes to the Arty. He should have had that kill. But unfortunately, I'm not sure he had auto-aim on, or if he took auto-aim off in order to get the shot. And as a consequence, the shell went wild. Well, it means that the Super Hellcat is probably over the other side of the battlefield. Now, is he going to stay in the cap and invite the Super Hellcat to try and get a reset? Oh, there he is! He's right down the far end! He's just killed our T25AT. And I wonder now, is he going to try and come back and get a reset? We've lost sight of him. No, that didn't work. Well, we know which direction he's going to have to come from if he wants to get a reset. But again, I'm not sure there's enough time for him to go up and across and down. But he could come through the... around the rocks. We did lose our VP as well. He must have killed the VP. Oh no, he just killed... yes, he did just kill the VP. So has he turned around and gone back up the hill, and he's now on the outside of the battlefield, the western side of the battlefield, and he's now coming up that side to try and get a reset. He might be doing that. He could very well appear any moment from above, or he could just drive into the cap area. Remember, 72 kilometers an hour. He's the fastest tank in the game. At least I think he is. 10 seconds to go. Any second now. And we've capped out. He's left it too late. And he's behind us. He left it too late. Well, that was an interesting battle because it had every chance that TanqAndTonic was going to come out with a Top Gun, but instead he actually came out with a different medal. He got an ace tanker out of it as well because he performed so well as a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 7. And he got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, 1 short of the Top Gun and 1/3 of the enemy team. He would have had that Top Gun, but for the fact that he fluffed the shot on the enemy VP. And that's sad because he is a tank player, an Arty player. So he does know where to hit that thing to get the best effect. His first shot, I'm afraid, I think he auto-aimed and he just had the wrong ammunition. It hit the hard spot and it didn't do any damage. Second shot did. because I think actually that the first shot was the wrong ammo because he was expecting to see the Hellcat, and he didn't. He saw the Fifi instead. But the second shot was the right ammo, went through the side, which is a weak spot. But when he came round, he circled the whole thing. He just should have sat behind the guy and stopped there, because then it's very difficult for that Fifi to traverse and get round to get the gun to face, and he would have had enough time for another shot. So yeah, missed out on the top gun. He got a 5 for effect though, for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. And the medal he received instead of the top gun was an Invader medal, because he was the only one capping actually, and he got at least 80 capture points and 1 by cap. So he got that medal instead. Must have been awful that he was facing the wrong way. He had his rear to the enemy when the enemy turned up. The enemy obviously made the wrong mistake, because it's the wrong side to actually go for. If he'd actually killed the Fifi and the Fifi was up on our side of the map, he should have stayed on our side of the map. Instead, he decided to go the eastern route, and by the time he got to the cap, it was too late. TanqAndTonic had capped out. So yeah, I think it was his mistake that he came up that side. Anyway, if we look at the team score, we can see that the highest damage in the game was actually the enemy Hellcat, who did 3,211 hit points of damage, and he did get the high caliber. The second highest damage actually went to the enemy T67 with 2,280, and the third highest damage went to the T25AT on our own team with 2,189. We can see that TanqAndTonic got 4th on hit points, 2,005 hit points, but when it came to kills, he actually was top. He had 5 kills, 4 kills went to the Super Hellcat, 3 kills to the T67, and when it came to base XP, he definitely scored that one. In fact, a very high score, 1,326, enough to get an ace tanker. Second highest XP was the VK3002M on his own team with 823, and the third highest highest XP rather, was the Super Hellcat with 717, the one on the enemy team. So he did rather well, even though he lost the game because he made a wrong choice. We can see that TanqAndTonic fired 19 rounds in the game, got 12 direct hits on the enemy and 10 penetrations. Damage of 2,005 hit points, of which 1,112 were at more than 300 meters. So he was actually doing a lot of long-range shooting from his firing position, his sniper position up on our side of the hill, on the side of the map rather, shooting across the valley at the enemy. And the rest of it was all close-in stuff. 3 hits received from the enemy, one of which was a penetration, 2 non-penetrations, and those non-penetrations both came from the Super Hellcat, who actually fluffed it up, and he received 1 hit by way of splash damage, and that was from the enemy Fifi at the end of the game. 480 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 6 enemy vehicles spotted, 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, and 2,016 hit points of spotting assist. He managed to get 100 cap points in the game, and he actually got 44 reset points, or defense points, when he killed the Excalibur, who's in the cap. He earned 28,816 credits for the game, and after repair and ammunition resupply, still made a profit of 20,892 credits on a premium count. 1,326 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 3,978 experience points altogether. So close to getting a top gun, so close. It's just, next time, don't circle the lefty, just get behind him, and he'll slowly turn towards you, and then as he does that, just keep pace with his traverse, and then shoot the round right into his rear when you're ready. No problem whatsoever. But yes, would have been a top gun, wasn't. But I think that Super Hellcat on the enemy team, he must have been kicking himself that he let that get away from him, because he decided to double bluff you and make it appear that he was going the other side. In actual fact, he was going by the east side. If you enjoyed that, oh, I haven't done the armor. Let's have a look at the armor. Here's the armor thickness for the M18 Hellcat. You can see it's very, very thin armor all the way around. This is what makes this vehicle go so quickly. It's got very lightweight indeed. In fact, the total weight of the vehicle is just over 21 tons. In fact, closer to 22 tons in total weight. So very thin, but very nice gun. So 12.8 and 12.7 millimeters virtually all the way around the hull. So it's very, very weak. The turret is slightly better. You can see here 31.8mm on the side of the turret, so I can understand why that 90mm actually bounced off. If you can see here, if it actually hit from this angle, it's actually going up against 43mm of armor. Now, whilst the fact that that is a 90mm round with a decent amount of pen, over 100mm of pen, I think it was just the sheer angle at which it hit. And if we go to the live model, we can see, yes, it should have penetrated, but it must have hit that spot there where the angle was enough for it to actually bounce off. If it hit anywhere in the tracks, obviously, chances are it wouldn't actually, it might just ricochet or might just track him, but not actually do much in the way of damage. So, yes, this vehicle is very, very light, very weak armor. Let's have a quick look at the modules. Okay, well, let's take it up to a full screen. Okay, you can see now that the driver and the driver's mate are up front. The driver's mate is actually the radio operator. And we've got the driver on the right-hand side of the vehicle. We've got the transmission coming through because the engine is actually in the rear, but the transmission's going up front. We can see that there's ammo racks either side, just below the turret. So in the shoulders, you might say, of the tank. That's an easy place to get an ammo rack, but an even better place, actually, is the turret bustle on an M18, which is just full of 90mm rounds or 76mm rounds to actually hit. The loader's on the right-hand side, the tank commander is at the back on the left-hand side, and the gunner's just in front of him, so he can direct him where to go next. The engine's sandwiched between two fuel tanks at the back of the vehicle, and of course, with very thin armor, you could either hit that, or you can hit the ammo racks. I can't see, oh, there is some, no, that's just the loader's feet. But there's no main ammo rack down in the actual vehicle for you to hit as far as Wargame is concerned. They've put all the ammo in the shoulders or in the bustle. So if you want to get a big bang, that's where you've got to aim. If you're an Arty, this is an open top vehicle. So it's just a case of putting the shell into that open top and hitting and blowing it up that way. Or at least I think it's an open top. Am I wrong? No, I think it isn't an open top. That was the M10. The Hellcat has just got this unique turret, which is very thin armor. So, yes, I think if I showed the, we take it off the, we look at the model, we look at texture. Actually, no, we just see the model, and you can see, you know, technically it is an open top. Yes, according to this, it is. So, yes, I'm wrong, but I'm frequently wrong. Yes, you can see much better if I go to the armor profile on this one. You see the open top of the Hellcat, but it's a very weak vehicle. And apparently a lot of the crews hated the Hellcat, even though it was faster. They hated it. They didn't like it. They much preferred the M10 over the Hellcat. And I think that may have been one of the reasons why there were so few of these actually built, and there were much more M10s built in the war. So I hope you enjoyed the replay. If I bring you back to where we were before, I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And happy birthday to TanqAndTonic. Pardon me. I hope this video goes out in time for your birthday. Thanks for watching.